We welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much. Very happy to be with you.
For joining. We have also been joined by Hawk Brunner. We welcome you, sir, who's the Director, International Services and Welcome Center. We welcome you on the second day of this great session. We also have the presence of Mr. Hajo Sutlitzberg, founder, Visi Council, X-Ray Systems and Solutions. We welcome you, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Nice to see you in this panel discussion. We also welcome Mr. Dirk Troden, Managing Director, ITM Investment Trade. We welcome you, sir, and very shortly the session is going to be live.
Thank you. Welcome.
For your kind information, ladies and gentlemen, today's session will be moderated by Dr. C.A. Vikas S. Chaturvedi, who has already joined us, and in a short while, we are going to start the session. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome all the distinguished eminent dignitaries to join us on stage, please. I would like to welcome Dr. C.A. Vikas S. Chaturvedi, CEO, Wolfson Group Founder Chairman, ICAI Netherlands, TIM Amsterdam, IDEC. Keep applauding for Mr. G. Thormo Dawson, Founder and Chairman. Okay, I'll do. I'm doing all. Yes. Okay. I'll do. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I would like to welcome Dr. Vijay Mehta, Honorary Consul General of Romania, Mr. Michael Paul, Director, Australian Cultural Forum, Australian Embassy. Keep applauding, ladies and gentlemen. The line has lined up. Dr. Konstantinos Diamantras, Vice Rector, International Helen University, who have joined us from Greek Online. Dr. Henrik Hebert, we welcome you, sir, Managing Director, WTSH from Germany, who is live with us. Dr. Dirk Trodenel, Managing Director, ITM Investment Trade, Marketing GmbH Germany. We welcome you, sir. Mr. Hazo, Founder, Visit Council, X-Ray Systems Solutions. We welcome you, sir. Mr. Leventi Kardos, Economic and Commercial Counselor, Embassy of Hungary. We welcome Mr. Jorge Brunner, Director, International Services and Welcome Center. We welcome you, sir. We take immense pleasure to welcome Suhog Nizamin, COO, SunSource Energy. We are proud by the presence of Mr. Prasoon Diwan, Chairman, Indo-Iceland Business Association, Founder and CEO, Devish Arundum. We also welcome Mr. Sridhar Subramaniam, Director, IGPE Council Private Limited, Director, Indo-Asian Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce. We are proud by the presence of Ms. Sharda Subramaniam, Director, IGEP. And ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause to our Group Vice Chancellor too. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed speakers, and esteemed participants joining us in person and virtually, a very warm welcome to the European session, where we explore the dynamics and evolution relationship between the European Union and India, its challenges, its immense opportunity, and the pathway we forge together for a prosperous future. It is indeed an honor to witness such distinguished gathering of policymakers, business leaders, diplomats, and thought leaders, all united by a shared vision of collaboration and growth. The European Union and India share deep historic ties, expansion, and technological innovation. Today, we have gathered to not only deliberate on the key factors shaping this relationship and explore ways to strengthen our strategic ties, the session promises to be dynamic exchange of insight, perspectives, and opportunities, and we are privileged to have an extraordinary lineup of distinguished speakers and panelists who bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise. Before we move forward, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest for taking a time for joining us today, both physically and virtually, in making this discussion impactful and enriching. To formally commence the session, it is my great honor to invite session chair to deliver the welcome address and introduce the theme. Ladies and gentlemen, join me again to welcome our esteemed session chair, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh Sir, Group Vice Chancellor, Amity Universities. He's a distinguished academician and global thought leader in higher education. With an illustrious career spanning decade, he has significantly contributed to the internationalization of education, fostering expertises worldwide. As a Group Vice Chancellor of Amity Universities, he has spearheaded various initiatives to exchange industry academic partnership, promote cutting-edge research, and integrate emerging technologies into educational framework. An expert of cross-culture who has traveled extensively, and I would take an honor to hand over the mic to him for his address. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kavita. I will give a brief introduction to the session and then we'll give it to the session chair and moderator, my very able friend, Dr. C.A. Vikas Chaturvedi, who not only is one of the leading financial brains in Europe, but has helped many organizations, I think hundreds of organizations, to establish their businesses in Europe and in other parts of the world. Coming back to Europe, Europe is very close to the heart of Amity family. As you know, that our founder, Dr. Chauhan, has spent more than 3 decades in Europe and came back to Asia with one vision, with one aim, that we should be able to bring a difference into the life of hundreds and thousands of students. Today, Amity is one of the largest universities of the world, with 250,000 students, 13 universities in India, 16 foreign campuses, and has very strong focus on Europe and on the European ties. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen who are on the stage, I'd like to inform you, we are perhaps the only one in the country which are offering almost every European language through our foreign business language department to our students, and students are learning it. And again, one of the very few universities in India who offer study abroad program in Europe. So every year, hundreds of our students, they go to Europe, and also look forward to further strengthen our relationships with many universities, and also look at placement apprenticeship program in Europe. Later on, maybe the panelists are going to tell you that what we had planned, but we are offering today, after as one of the outcomes, 100 vacancies in Mercedes-Benz to our students as a part of it. So give a huge applause to these vacancies to our students. Similarly, with the help of our very good friend who is opening up Indian business house in Netherlands and is working very closely with some of the top companies of Hungary, Bulgaria, Romania, Portugal, France, and Germany. We will be having an association with more than 500 companies, but I will request Dr. Vikas Chaturvedi to explain that, but give a huge applause to him that this is what we are doing. Similarly, we had very good discussion with the Dr. Sharda Subramaniam, who is again one of the well-established names who is helping us to create meaningful relationships. We are trying to create partnerships with University of Hamburg, Heidelberg, Schwelwig, and internship with the German companies. So all students who are currently doing their German language courses, maybe that we will supplement this to the C level and up to the B1 level, which will help you to get into the the Germany, and to the nearby European countries. Similarly, in France and in Bulgaria and in Portugal, we are having discussions that how we can help apprenticeship and internship training to our students, which can help you to later on work with those companies and also bring some of the best practices. And who knows that tomorrow you run your own companies and establish your own companies focusing on data science, AI, businesses, fintech, edtech. So opportunities are unlimited. We're very happy that through this conference, which is the Silver Jubilee celebrations of INBUSH, we are able to realize the dreams of our founder, who always wanted that through MIT International Business School, we should be able to give the best of the international practices to our students and make them the truly global citizens. I would like to extend our heartfelt welcome to everyone, starting with Dr. C.A. Vikas Chaturvedi, who was a very good friend of ours, CEO of the Willicit Group. Very lately, he has opened up an office in Dubai also, very active in Netherlands. I often say that he is a flying man because whenever you want to speak to him, he will always reply you from the plane. Tonight, again, he is flying, but thank you so much that you are coming here. Give a huge applause to him, please. And Mr. Jay Thor, founder and chairman of SEMBA, Renewable Energy, and CEO of the Caldra Group of Iceland. Give a huge applause to him. Mr. Prasun Diwan, who is our very good friend, again, with whom we are creating a program in Iceland. And he was saying that he can help our students to gain meaningful internships, employment opportunities, and also create a study abroad program where the students can go and can spend some time. But thank you so very much, Mr. Prasun Diwan, a very well-known professional. Give a huge applause to him. As a chairman of the Indo-Iceland Business Association and founder and CEO of Divish Arim, I feel that Mr. Diwan is helping thousands of people in India to create meaningful partnerships in Europe. Also very happy to welcome Excellency Dr. Vijay Mehta, Honorary Consul General of Romania. Give a huge applause to him. Mr. Michael Paul, Director of Austrian Culture Forum, Austrian Embassy, again with whom we are trying to explore that what we can do in Austria. Keep on applauding for all of them. And Dr. Kohn Stenis Diamentros, Vice Rector, International Hellenic University of Greece, who is joining us online. And Dr. Heinrich Habeck, Managing Director. Dr. Derek, Managing Director of ITM Investment Trade. Mr. Hajo, keep on applauding for all of them, please. Mr. Hajo Schulenberg, founder, Vigi Consultant, X-Ray Systems. Mr. Levente Cardos, Economic and Commercial Counselor, Embassy of Hungary. Very happy to welcome you. Mr. Hawk Brower, Director of International Services and the Welcome Center. Mr. Said Snitchman, CEO of SunSource Energy. And of course, Mr. Sridhar Subramaniam, Director of IAGP Consultant, and our own Dr. Sharda Subramaniam will not stand in between our very wise chair, Dr. C. Vikas Chaturvedi, very distinguished panelist, and our audience. Over to you, Dr. Vikas.
Thank you, sir. Very warm, good evening, and very looking forward for a very strong and content-filled session on Europe. A very warm welcome to all the panelists who's joining online and offline. So, friends, it's a great honor and opportunity for me to discuss the challenges and opportunities in India and Europe. And often as a moderator, when you're looking at this kind of a topic, and when you have so many eminent and distinguished speakers, you're often caught in the position that as to how you get the best out of the best brains that you have in next 1.5 hours. So for me, the job is very difficult, but I will try to do my best to make sure that all the eminent speakers present in this session get a chance to give their insights, share their experiences in context of where we stand between India and Europe. So friends, as you know, India and Europe, they are the largest trading partner. And I personally believe, because I have been in this corridor for almost 2 decades, over 2 decades, having established European Indian Chamber of Commerce, having established ASSOCHAM Europe, having established the institute into Europe. So I have been involved with over a dozen institutions which today are solid pillars of creating and incrementally enhancing the business between the India and Europe. So what I have seen in last 2 decades of my experience is the opportunities of Indians in Europe, and especially for students, bright minds who are sitting here like you, is massive. So what we are seeing is a lot of people in last 2 decades who have established, came out of university like MIT, are very, very well established, either as a in job in Germany, in Netherlands, in UK, in Belgium, in France, Spain, you name, and there is a huge list. And today, with the collaboration with Indian universities in Europe, and especially thanks to MIT, it's a great channelization of students and the brain from India, which is going to Europe, which is playing a pivotal role in expanding the business also. So when you are talking of business, we have to see this into threefold. One is the business aspect, one is obviously the education aspect, and one is the culture aspect. Because you don't look at India, Europe in isolation, just only merely from an education perspective, or merely from business, or merely culture. You have to make a combination of this. And if you look at this panelists today, we have people who are adequately representing the corporate, which is the business, people who are adequately representing the universities, academia, universities, and people who are adequately representing the cultural aspect of these elements. So without taking it further, I would start asking questions to my dear panelists. But one thing I can assure you guys, the future of all of you who are looking at Europe is massive. Today, there are almost, I would say, 5,000 companies operating from India into Europe. In next 25 years, when India achieves its 100 years, I can assure you this number will go to 50,000 companies from India into Europe. And you can just imagine the kind of channelization of resources from India to Europe and vice versa that will happen. It will open huge plethora of opportunities for all of you sitting here, for all the companies and the businesses that are operating between this corridor. So getting on to my panelists, my request to all my panelists is, because I have to deal with a large number of all of you, and which are all of you are eminent experts in your lines, my request is, to my very precise question, I would expect a very precise answer and try to be as crisp as possible so that everybody will get a chance to represent their views, because so many people are watching us online and so many people are watching us here in this auditorium. So I would request all of you to be very crisp and precise with the questions. So the flow will be that I will be asking one question to start with all the panelists, and then couple of questions in a fireside chat where, a quick answer would be expected from a quick question. So I am starting this panel discussion, and first question I would like to ask is to Mr. Dirk Twendel, who is the Managing Director of ITM Investment Trade Marketing GmbH from Germany. So, sir, very warm welcome to you in this panel. My question to you is, sir, as someone who has worked across both India and European markets, can you share an example of a successful collaboration or partnership that has helped the bridge between the two regions? Over to you, Dr. Trundle.
Yes, thank you for the invitation. I just would like to give you a little bit historical background of our company. We were founded in the year 1988, and we were the first time as consultants, marketing consultants in India in the year 1989, working together with IGP to promote exports from India to Europe, especially to Germany. We worked in jewelry, we worked in software, and we worked in shoes. And all these three branches were very successful in the meantime. So I'm talking about 30 years ago. Now the times are changing very much, and I came back to India only a few years ago because I understood that now is a time for a real, very strong cooperation, what you already mentioned. Because we have a demographic problem in Europe. Our people are aging, and you have young people, young, hungry people, and we need young, hungry people, very well educated or highly motivated to be educated and to be busy and to help us to further develop our, let's say, old Europe with young, hungry, and motivated Indian students and professionals.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. Trunadal. Thank you very much for this. And you very rightly pointed out, and I think this is very, very important for you friends to know, the current required population rate for Europe to grow the way they are is 2.1 child per couple. And the current rate population average in Europe is 1.2 child per couple. So as you can imagine, there is a huge gap of almost one child per couple that is in Europe, because at least for Europe to grow at this rate at which Europe is growing, they are lagging behind by one child per couple. And simply putting this fact can give you an impression of how critical is it that the skilled population is missing in Europe today. And that is where even Dr. Trondal exactly precisely mentioned that the demographic issue that today Europe is facing, that is where we see clearly a huge opportunity for Indians and Europeans to come together and make it work. Now, thank you very, very much for this, Dr. Trundle.
I have just one request.
Yes.
I have another meeting. Can I say goodbye and wish you all the best?
Sir, before you go, just one question. What would be one tip that you would like to give to the audience here that they should be looking at Europe, and how would you suggest to these people that they should follow that?
You see, there is a kind of sociological law. The sociological law says if a society is changing, practically not changing, then the old people are the most respected people. If a society is changing very fast, then old people learn from the young people. And that's why there is a big chance for India now, with a huge young population, to educate us even in Germany or in Europe, because we are aging. We need young, well-educated people. So learn, be flexible, and you have a great opportunity either in India to work for companies which are working in Europe, or in Germany, or in France, wherever. There is a huge possibility, but you have to learn, you have to be eager, you have to be hungry, motivated, and then I see no limit, frankly speaking.
Thank you so much. Yes.
So thank you, and unfortunately I have to say goodbye. All the best for you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, moving on to the next panelist, which is Mr. Michael Pal, who's Director for Australian Cultural Forum. Now, I'm just moving from a marketing and trade investment question to more towards a cultural question. And that is to you, Mr. Paul. From your perspective, what are the most valuable lessons you have learned about cross-cultural business dealings between Europe and India? And how students sitting here can especially apply them to put them into perspective?
Yeah, thank you for this question and also for having me here this afternoon. Welcome to everybody. As for Austria, it's very clear that we are a small country in the middle of Europe and definitely attractive for you. We are having some of the oldest universities in Europe, and still we hope that you will come not to study, also to enhance our scientific cooperation. This is what we need. We need PhDs to come to study together with our scholars and our professors to find out what can we do and how can we enhance it. We had two Nobel Prizes in a row in Austria for physics. Professor Anton Zeilinger did it with his very nice quantum physics theories, which I don't understand a word of, but it's up to him and to the mathematics professors to understand that. So really I would invite you to explore these possibilities on Austrian universities. And also out of them, there's a lot of business in that, because with this basic research, you get really on levels where you can really influence the world. And to come back to my experience in India, I see that we can do anything we want here. You are so open. I've never experienced it. I have already 43 years of experience abroad in working in different countries. And it was really never that easy like here. When you come somewhere, you find partners, you even find some sponsors to do the things, and especially on the cultural field. So I would really invite you to expand that cooperation. And as you said, the speaker before said, we are an aging society, that's true, but still we're optimistic because we have so many new people also coming, young people, and they are really a basis now of our society to improve and also to get new influences. But still we are trying to keep our systems in charge, because we did it for several hundred years to develop that. We had 1976, we were celebrating 1000 years of the mentioning of Austria in a document, in a written document. So quite a long experience, and I would say invite you to come and experience what we are doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Especially what I really liked about your statement was that you are saying enhance the scientific cooperation. And that is where Austria, being a very small country, the opportunity which you are also mentioning is limitless when it comes to scientific cooperation. And when you are getting into a culture like Austria, it's very important that people attend events like this and hear from people like Mr. Michael, who brings a lot of experience on enhancing the intercultural gaps. Because friends, I'll tell you, I went to Netherlands 20 years back to study. And initially, first 2 or 3 months was a big challenge because it was a new culture. To establish into the new culture, it's very important you know the people, you respect it well. And if you have to be successful in making this cross-cultural gap, it's very vital that you connect with the local people. Because generally what happens is when Indians are going together in a group, they generally try to be together as Indians only. So my recommendation and suggestion to all of you who are looking to go to Europe, it's very important that any culture which you are going towards, either Germany or France or Greece or Spain, try to intermingle more with the local people to really fill that gap. And thank you very much, Mr. Paul, for your input. Now, because linking again to the education, I'll again come back to the question on academia, which is very important. I'll come to my another panelist, which is Dr. Konstantinos Diamantras, who's the Vice Rector of International Hellenic University. So, warm welcome to you, sir. My question to you is, what essential skills and competencies should Indian students develop if they aspire to work in European markets or collaborate with European businesses? So it's just basically an extension of the previous question that I have been asking my panelists. This is your question, sir. So if you could give your insights. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, let me say that I'm truly honored to be and deeply grateful to be with you today. And I thank you for the kind invitation to participate as a guest speaker in this panel. Let me give you a small background of our university. We are a young university, but we have the name international. We come from Greece. Hellenic means Greek. So we are from Greece. We have a strong international program, but mostly in the master's and the PhD levels. In our university, and then I'm going to speak about our university first and then about Greece and Europe in general. The competencies that we are building our educational programs are basically in humanities, in social sciences and economics, and also in technology. So I will give you some token names of master's programs that we absorb foreign students. For example, classical archaeology, Black Sea and Eastern Mediterranean studies. We also have law. We have hospitality and tourism, our big industry in Greece. Banking, financial management. We also want expertise and people in the technology section. I personally come from a background of I'm teaching machine learning and AI. I'm a professor, and we have a strong need of people in data science, information and communication technologies in general, cybersecurity, mobile and web computing, smart cities, energy. We have a lot of energy programs. and also bioinformatics. And we also have a strong program in humanitarian logistics and immigration and crisis management, digital healthcare. All of these cutting edge technologies are of our interest as a university, but I should say that we also have these needs in Greece in general. In our school, we don't have a medical program, but I know that there are other universities in Greece that have strong medical programs and they attract a lot of international students. In our case, about half of our students in these programs are international admissions. We strive to make this number bigger, if hopefully close to 100%. And in Europe in general, I think IT and health and social studies, economics are very strong and in need of people. As mentioned before, India has a large population of young people, and I think Europe needs to attend to this group of people and showcase our expertise and hopefully attract students from India and also vice versa, exchange of students even from Greece going to India in these areas. And we are very happy to already collaborate with Amiti. If you want, I can explain to you more how we already collaborate with Amiti in exchanges and programs such as Erasmus. If you have time, I can give you later more details. But these are basically the areas that we are interested in.
Fantastic. Thank you, Dr. Konstantinos. Thank you. Sir, you mentioned that scope where students can look at is data science, cyber security, smart cities, energy. So in these sectors, when people, let's say, come to Greece for their higher education, once they have completed the education, how do you look at their prospects, within the Greek market in terms of, is it important that they are studied from one of the universities in Greece? Or is it also important that while the time they're studying there, a local language, to get a local job would be helpful to them? If you could share some light on that, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the follow-up question. We offer also Greek courses. It's good idea to speak the Greek language, at least to a level of communication, basic communication. However, let me tell you that there is a lot of digital nomads. A digital nomad is one person who works for a company in the United States, for example, but actually stays in Greece. We have this kind of people, and a lot of my students actually work for Microsoft, for example, but they stay in Greece. So yes, if you speak English, it's a lot of foreign companies like Pfizer, Cisco, Microsoft have open branches in Thessaloniki, where I am from, in Greece. And so speaking English is something very important. If you want to work for a local Greek company, there are many Greek companies here. We are in an expanding phase. Greece had gone through a financial crisis, as you know, but now this has been reversing, and we are growing, and we are attracting a lot of investment. But okay, to answer your questions quickly, if you want to be employed by a Greek company, it's a very good idea to speak Greek. But there's also a lot of people who work for international companies here in Thessaloniki, and there the language is mostly English.
Lovely. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Now, moving on to my next panelist, my dear friend Prasun Diwan. My question to you, obviously you are chairman for Indo-Icelandic Business Association, founder CEO Divish Oram, and dear friend of mine, so I'm very happy to be on the panel again for second consecutive year. So my question to you is, especially in light of EFTA, which just got signed, where India and certain European countries have come together for the free trade. And since especially Iceland is the part of one of the signing countries of EFTA, my question to you, Prashunbhai, is how can young entrepreneurs leverage EU-India trade policies funding opportunities and a startup ecosystem to launch or scale their business across borders, especially in context of EFTA, which has been recently signed by India. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vikas Bhai. Greetings to all the panelists online and offline. It's been insightful to hear from all of you. I'll come quick to the question that has been raised to me. Important fact of the EFTA to be understood, it covers four very important countries of Europe, which includes Norway, Switzerland, Iceland, and Liechtenstein. Now, this is the first of its kind of an agreement, which is a free trade agreement between the European and Indian continent. So, it is important for us to understand the intrinsic value that we can raise out of this. This allows a lot of access to the Indians for the access to European markets and vice versa. Important points to note here, it legally compels or competes $100 billion investment into India in the next 17 years, and with a commitment from the EFTA Commission on this. So this is the beginning of a very interesting opportunity between India and Europe, which will also act as precedents to the other European India strategic partnership programs or the FTA between the European Union and India. So here, because I know there are so many panelists to speak, I would make this short and bring to the attention of everyone here that this is humongous possibility existing right now in terms of funding opportunities, in terms of trade policies as well, and also the ecosystems that exist around us. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So,
yeah. Also, I would like to highlight the point of our specific interaction that we're having with Amity University. Also, we are in discussion with Professor Govinda Singh regarding the uh, installation of an engineering course that could cater to specific energy needs, particularly geothermal energy that Iceland specializes in. Also, we intend to extend a kind of a hand holding program with the students here at Amity in terms of an internship program. So the Icelandic India Business Association, which is the body taking care of the trade and commerce and cultural part of the association, is looking very strongly on the cultural and the business interaction between India and Iceland. And with the Amity, we will soon have internship programs with Icelandic companies to help Indian students with. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Diwan, for this. And what I especially underline is the $100 billion of investments that will come, and certainly your partnership collaboration with Amity. So, friends, it's very important to know that soft programs that Amity is building today. I mean, how do we know together is also because we are collaborating as Value Center with Amity University for students to place either under the internship program or under the employment opportunities, especially as I mentioned, as Dr. Singh also mentioned about India Business House. We are in the process of launching an India Business House, which will be a platform that will connect India to the world. And India Business House will house 500 companies, and it will allow Indian students to come for internship opportunities, for business opportunities, for entrepreneurship opportunities, for employment opportunities, and to do much more. We have a series of investors associated with India Business House. So the whole ecosystem is being built. And I'm very delighted to inform you today and share today with all of you that we are partnering with Amity University when we are starting this India Business House. So it's a great honor, sir, for us to collaborate with Dr. Singh and his team for this India Business House. And just in this context, as we talk about business, I have a very eminent speaker, Mr. Sitse Nisman, who's the CEO of SunSource Energy. It's part of SHV Energy, friends. This is one of the top companies in the world when it comes to energy. And we are very happy that we have the COO of this company, of SunSource Energy. Mr. Sitse, my question to you is, what are some key differences? Now I'm talking of differences in business culture when you look at, because you have been in India for 2.5 years. And you told me when you came to India, the first year was a bit of a difficult and a challenging year, which one could imagine. But then, from your perspective, what are some of the key differences in business culture between India and European countries that you would want to share with the students, because that they could use as a learning tip and can put it into practice? So if you could just share some thoughts. Thank you.
Clear, thank you. And thank you to be here. It's good to see all these young, talented people. I have worked in 3 different continents and 5 different countries, and there are differences everywhere. There were also some differences here. The main that I want to highlight is the appetite for risk. So let me focus a bit on Northern European countries. We do investments here, quite significant investments. We like to make a business plan. We like to make a business case, and we like to write down all the potential problems that you could face in this business plan. And then we want to see another plan, how we will deal with those problems, and what are all the risk mitigating factors that we're going to take to make sure that the plan goes well. Now, that also takes some time. I see that in India, at least the limited view that I have, is that there is a bit more risk appetite. People will take the decision faster. There is less need to put everything on paper up front. And if there is an issue or if there's a challenge, we will find a jugaad. That's one of the first words that I learned here. So then to translate that to the message that I would like to give to you, I would like to say, develop yourself to be a bridge. And what I mean with that is it's applicable on everywhere. It's not only Europe, but try to bring 2 worlds together. And how can you do that? That's first, and I think you already touched upon it, is learning from the other side. What are your customs? How do you work? Ask questions, be curious, be open. Don't judge, but learn and observe. And once you have done that, and once you have built some insights in that, you can also explain, and I think that's also a very important part of making a connection, explain the other side how your culture works and how your business environment works. So you can start from their entry point. I know in Northern Europe, you look at things like this. Here, the dynamic environment expects this. So we need to take both into the equation, because a successful collaboration requires to fulfill the needs of both. So my clear advice would be learn from the other side, or observe and understand how they think, but also be able to express very clearly how your own environment works, because then you can find the right path in the middle.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sidsi. So friends, I would like to say personally one thing. Because we are talking about this cultural gaps, and what he said was one word, if you would have observed, is bridge. Because it's most important, it's not what your educational qualifications are. While those play an important role, but as you grow, let's say elder in your life, what is most important is, are you able to create that element of being a bridge to solve a problem, or to connect to countries, or to connect to continents? The moment you see yourself acting as a bridge, friends, rest one thing is assured, your value would only increase by day. So thank you very much for that one word that you make an impression. And friends, I would also like to say, it was just 2 days back I requested him to join. And he's a Dutch person, right? And Dutch person agendas are blocked 2 months in advance. Now he has tailored himself for Indian needs, and in just 2 days, he confirmed to us that he will be with us as a panelist. So thank you very much again, Mr. Sidsi, for joining us. Now, talking on about same business context and Bulgarian context, sir, I would like to come to you, Mr. Sridhar, because you are the director for IGP Consult and also director for Indo-Asia Bulgarian Chambers of Commerce. Now, I know a lot of investments into Bulgaria is happening from India because of the tax policy, of the fiscal climate, and of the huge food and agri. I mean, number of initiatives you see, I see from an Eastern European side, Bulgaria is acting as a central point. And now, I would ask you, are there any specific initiatives or internship or student exchange programs that can help students gain experience into India, EU, and especially in the context of Bulgaria? If you could just shed some light, that would be fantastic.
Thank you, Dr. Chaturvedi, for this question. And I would like to wish you, all the students of MIT, a wonderful interaction with us. It's an honor to be here. Now, coming to the question of Dr. Chaturvedi, I wish to inform that there are approximately about 450 Indian students already in Bulgaria. They have about 5 or 6, some of the leading medical colleges in Bulgaria, offering quality education at a very economical cost for Indian students. And the degrees offered by these medical colleges are recognized in the European Union. And it's a big advantage for students to pursue their education there. And another thing about Bulgaria is it's got a very strong educational institutes in the area of information technology, also artificial intelligence, and they got Bulgaria has placed itself in a very unique position that it has become sort of the back office of Europe. A lot of European companies have migrated, have a office there, including some of the leading Indian companies like Infosys, Tata Consultancy Services, HCL. HCL, you will be happy to know, there's got 1,200 employees, 200 employees in Bulgaria. And apart from software, there are also many other Indian companies now venturing into Bulgaria. It'll be surprising for you to know that they are in various fields like real estate, agriculture, and also in manufacturing also, because a lot of Indian companies now, which our chamber is assisting, they've identified Bulgaria due to its cost advantages, the lowest income tax, corporate tax in Europe, and an educated workforce, plenty of land available. Already, Bulgaria has been discovered by Germany and China and many other investors, and it's a big window of opportunity for Indian investors also. So the educational area is also opening up in a big way for Indian students, and it's a very good opportunity, and we would be very happy to assist Indian students, students from MIT University especially, to explore Bulgaria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. A big round of applause for Mr. Sridhar, especially. Friends, what he mentioned, he said medical education. Now, medical education in India, all of us are aware of, is very tiresome and very challenging. So, students are often looking outside, and Bulgaria would be an excellent location because the education of Bulgaria is recognized EU-wide completely. The degree of Bulgaria is well recognized across European Union, and then in addition to that, we also mentioned information technology, AI. So again, these are the sectors of future. And if you were to have to look up Bulgarian education vis-a-vis a UK or a Western European education, in my view, the tuition fees itself would be 30-40% lesser in Bulgaria. And once you've studied in Bulgaria, you can work for certain years there and then migrate anywhere within the union, the moment you have the residence program. So thank you very much, sir, for this very interesting insight. Now, moving on to another question on the same lines, Sharda ma'am, I would like to ask you, because given your experience in Germany into the education space, on the same lines as Mr. Sridhar has explained, what would you have to say for Indian students that are aspiring, let's say, towards going to Germany? What areas in specific, or what would be the small steps that they should plan when they're planning and going towards Germany? If you could shed some light. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to say that the word I use, the bridging. So I use the word bridging because in 1988, Dr. Kepschul, the founder of IGP, who is online today, he came to India in 1988 and started the cooperation between India and Germany, the trade and investment. And today, now we are more than 37 years, we are continuing that relationship. And I would also like to say to my colleagues from Schleswig-Holstein, Dr. Habeck and Mr. Hoyer and Christian Decker and Mr. Schulenberg, who is also one of our most successful entrepreneur in India. He will speak himself. They all came through us, and we are celebrating the 20 years of cooperation between the WTSH and India, and bringing many entrepreneurs to India. Now I want to talk about the students. There are many opportunities in Germany. Germany has a culture like ours, like India. We have this cultural bond, and students are being, they treated like not like a foreigners. There they accommodate you. And for me, Germany is a second home. I'm going there since 1988. I miss Germany when I don't travel long. And once the Germans have taken you as a friend, it's a lifelong. And I think so there I would also say, whether it's Austrian or Hungarian, I don't want to make them angry because they are good friends of mine. But with Germans, it's like a family for me. And you can really work there. And the only thing with the Germans is you have to, if it is yes, please say yes. If it's no, just straightforward say no. Don't think that they will be offended. That's where we make a mistake. And one more thing is they lack patience. So if I say that something has to happen on Friday, it has to happen on Friday. If it goes one day here and there, then they get annoyed. So that is the only disadvantage. But otherwise, I would say great opportunity for the universities. Now I would like to announce certain things together with Amity, because with Amity, Dr. Capsule and the founder member of Amity, they are very good friends since Germany when they were living. And together with Amity, we are going to have a study tour with the students. And we are also going to have the university collaboration with our colleagues from Schleswig-Holstein, VTSA. We are going to have some university collaboration in Schleswig-Holstein, and also the internship possibility, like together with Mr. Schulenberg and other companies. And we will also have other university collaboration in Hamburg and Heidelberg. And Dirk Trendler, who left, he has a contract with to have more than 1,000 employees. And Dirk has just given 2 Indians students to see whether it works, and now he will go with Amity for the long term. And we would like not only with the education, also with the students to get internship. You can come to our office and do that. And Germany is one of the beautiful country and very close to Austria. We can also go there and work. And we would be happy to have you all and help you in getting a good placement in Germany and also for the study.
Thank you. Thank you. This is very, very motivational. This is very inspirational, Sharmaji. Thank you very much for this insight, and especially the enthusiasm with which you connect to Germany. That you said if you don't travel to Germany for too long, I don't feel good about it. So I think it's very important point that you raised is that the India and Germany has a similar culture in which they work. And especially the point of when you say of patience, I think all of us are fully familiar, and it's a good point that you mentioned. The Germans are very time bound. When they expect something on exactly the dot. So, like we Indians, we are hardworking, we sometimes overcommit ourselves. But this is something to learn from Germans, that do not overcommit, commit what you can deliver, and when you can deliver. Because if you are not able to deliver that time, because this is again linking to the cultural points friends mentioned, it's very critical when you are dealing with different cultures to know some of the basic elements of those cultures. And when Chatterjee mentioned that they're very impatient in the sense they would not like to, just wait, and then you are saying something and then they're still waiting. So they make sure that you respect their time and deliver as per the time that they takes. It's very important point that you have.
Sir, I would like to just welcome also my colleague Christian Decker, who is together with us promoting Indo-German relations.
Fantastic. Welcome, Mr. Decker, to you. So now, since you mentioned about Dr. Henrik Habeck, that he has been working with you for a long time. So I will directly come to you, Dr. Habeck, who's the managing director of WTSN GmbH Germany. Sir, my question to you is, based on your experience, what have been the most significant challenges and opportunities in fostering relationship with India and Europe? And how personally have you navigated this in your career? And especially your experience of over a decade, where Charlotte says for 20 years you have been working together. So if you could just share some experience-based insight, that will be useful for the audience here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for your question and to inviting me to be a panelist. So it's an honor for me to be part of it. So first of all, I would like to say a few words about the organization I'm speaking and work for. I work for the WTSH, which stands for the Abbreviation of Business Development and Technology Transfer Corporation of the Federal State of Schleswig-Holstein. So where is Schleswig-Holstein? It is located up in the very north of Germany between Hamburg and Denmark. The WTSH does everything that has to do something with innovation and innovative companies. We advise and give grants for innovation, also in specialized areas such in electrical engineering, biotech, pharmaceutical, e-mobility, hydrogen, or digitalization in general, or AI in speciality. But an innovation is only an innovation if it is successful on the market. Otherwise, you would speak of an invention. That is why the topic of foreign trade is extremely important for us. We have foreign trade consultants who can provide information on market research and the legal framework for possible markets in the world. But we are focusing on 3 markets in particular, namely the US, China, and of course India. And in these 3 markets, WTSH operates business centers that are aimed at companies from Schleswig-Holstein and, thanks to their expertise, offer advice on the same topics as initial market research, legal framework conditions, but also initial market activities and of a branch. These business centers has been in existence in India, as already said, for 20 years, an anniversary that will be definitely celebrated this year. And we are extremely grateful to the Egypt, our Indian partner, who maintains and operates the business center of Schleswig-Holstein for the work, because it is particularly important for our question. The network that Egypt makes available for Schleswig-Holstein companies is literally worth its weight in gold. A network to government authorities and research institutes and other companies. Normally, a company that wants to become active in India would have to set up and maintain a network itself. Not so for a company from Schleswig-Holstein. Here, there is the glorious option of buying a network with the business center. So foreign trade is very important for us, but the WTSH is also responsible for attracting international companies to Schleswig-Holstein. And here the economic development of India is of remarkable importance. The transformation from a sleeping elephant to a jumping tiger is also changing the WTSH interest in India. Just a few years ago, India was a sort of sales market that is growing enormously. Now India and the Indian economy have grown so much that companies are moving into other markets. And here the WTSH is available as a service partner to advise Indian companies when it comes to spaces to build a branch, legal framework conditions, or state support. And here too, a network is of immediate importance, because Schleswig-Holstein must be first known in foreign countries like India. So networking is extremely important, even for dealing with India as for foreign trade opportunities, but also for attracting companies to Schleswig-Holstein. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Henrik. Just one question in particular to this question itself. What would be let's say, the challenges that you would have seen while dealing between India and Germany in context of overall India-EU relations that you would want to highlight the people here sitting in this audience should be aware of the challenges between India and Germany?
Well, of course, the language is not so much of importance because also in Germany we have to learn English as the first foreign language. But legal framework is of particular importance, and there it is very helpful to have also the Egypt people in India who know the legal frameworks of establishing also a branch in India, and that's really one challenge, but also a huge strategic importance for Schleswig-Holstein to have the business center built up in India.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Henrich. A big round of applause to Dr. Henrich. Now, moving on to my another panelist, which is also from Germany, Mr. Hayo Schluckenberg, founder VC Consult X-Ray Systems and Solutions, GmbH. So now, sir, you are coming from the corporate side. Now, question to you is, what are the key industries and job roles where young professionals can find exciting career opportunities in India-EU business corridor?
So yeah, thank you for having me here, and yeah, thank you, Dr. Habeck. I think you described perfectly the role of IGP, because we came together with the WTSH as a first key point, and then over the IGP to India. And yeah, let me say, we have had. By the way, VC Consult is building industrial X-ray systems. So we are testing batteries, we are testing wheels, we are testing aerospace parts. Over years, I tried to make business in India. I was never successful until the day I started my own business in India with the help of the IGP. And it's very helpful to have someone in the back to do all the legal framework. Because when you try to do something, to grow a business, I made the same business in India as I do in Germany. So we are building X-ray systems, we have suppliers, we have to choose suppliers. So this is a lot of work, but when you have also to deal with the legal framework in the back, then you are lost. Because also finding the right suppliers, finding the right people as employees, because of the cultural differences, is much enough. And yeah, when people ask me during my hiking, when I stay a lot of weeks in India, and during hiking, people ask me, how can I come to Germany? So, to be honest, I recommend the most Indians, you can go for Germany for a while, study there, but then go back to India, grow your business, because the spirit in India, the willingness to win, the willingness to grow is fantastic. Much better than in Germany. So my recommendation is, maybe it's not the mainstream there, but the recommendation is, learn as a student as much as you can, go back, grow your business, and then you can enter the world with your products. And you ask me which industry, more or less every industry, because in India everything is growing, from IT over mechanical production, and the field or the possibilities to grow there, to create a supplier infrastructure for parts for bigger companies is dramatic and extremely good.
Fantastic. Mr. Hayo, just one question. Do you already have a setup in India? Because I
Yeah,
you have.
Yeah, we are since 21 together.
Fantastic.
IGP.
So, friends, a big round of applause to Mr. Hayo, because, friends, you have to realize always India is a big market. And when you come to India, people get so overwhelmed with the size and the opportunities that this country offers that it is just an overdose for any European who comes to India for the first time. So, and when you come here, you see opportunities all the places, but then there are also challenges that Dr. Henrich mentioned, that if you have to set up a company here, the legal framework was an issue, was a challenge. Then dealing with the culture is a challenge. You go to Punjab, the culture is different than to go to Kerala or go to Tamil Nadu. So imagine a European who comes from European side, he thinks India is homogeneous across pan India, but that's not the case. it is absolutely, India is almost like a European Union comprising of 28, 29 states, which is almost like a country. So my credits and compliments to you, Mr. Hayu, for coming and venturing yourself and establishing yourself as a successful entrepreneur. Because we need people like you as an entrepreneur to flourish this entire India-EU corridor to the next level. So a big round of applause, friends, to Mr. Hayu. And what he mentioned was two lines, which I gather: willingness to grow and learn as much as you can. And in terms of industry, he said each industry and every industry has massive opportunity. So thank you very much for that, Mr. Hayu. Now I would closely move from Germany to my friends in Hungary, which again, India and Hungarian business opportunities, what I have seen in my career is Hungary at certain points was a place where Indians would use to go to US, especially because of the tax treaty that Hungary had a very good tax treaty with US. And in my 20 years of business, what I've seen is Hungary and US also now, especially, has very nice business relationship. But also from a tax perspective, it was the gateway for Indians which wanted to go to US. But now what I have seen in Hungary is a lot of Indian companies which are saturating in Western Europe are now looking at Eastern Europe. And Hungary, because of the markets in Poland, because of the markets in Romania, Bulgaria, and the down south and eastern markets, Hungary is really coming up as the top location for Indians to look at and for Indian promoters and companies to look at. Now, my question to you is, how do you see from your perspective, because you represent the economic and the commercial side of Embassy of Hungary. So my question to you, sir, what advice would you like to give to the audience and students in particular who wants to build a successful career in international business, where Hungary can also play a lending portal for them when they're looking at Europe? So what would you like to say upon overall Hungarian context with India? And then where do you see an opportunity for Indian kids to use Hungary as the base to get into Europe? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for the invitation. I don't know what do you know about Hungary. So Hungary is a country in Central Eastern Europe with a population like Uttarakhand and the territory of like state Bihar, and a GDP like Andhra Pradesh. Thank you. Yeah, so what can I recommend? So I can just repeat the gentleman from the business side. You have to be the bridge. And Hungary itself also the bridge. And let me start a bit from the personal side, because I'm happy Sharda already mentioned that we are good friends, and I have a good connection to the German community here, because I used to work in Düsseldorf before as a commercial counselor. So more personal to mention, I have 4 children in the German school in New Delhi. So, I mean, Hungary, as you mentioned, is a gateway to Europe for the Indian companies. Lot of big companies are based in Hungary. Indian companies, I mean, we have 8,000 workers at Indian-owned companies, at 27 big companies like Tata Consulting, Apollo Tires, Motherson Group, also in pharmaceuticals, Sun Pharma. But on the other hand, we are saying that we are the 17th federal state of Germany, because we have just a joke, of course. because if we see the Hungarian industry, we have three of the big German OEMs has the producing side in Hungary. I mean OEMs in automotive. We just mentioned Mercedes-Benz before. We have the Mercedes-Benz. We have BMW. We have Audi. And on the other hand, we have also Opel and we have Suzuki as well, which has also good Indian connections, of course. So we have learned to be the bridge and learn, as we heard before also. We had the opportunity to learn, because that was a quote from Vladimir Ilyich Lenin, if I can mention it. And I just suggest, really recommend to the students, learn the languages, approach the international network, study at excellent universities like Amity University, participate at exchange programs. Let me just recommend the Hungarian one. We have 200 scholarships every year, Stipendium Hungaricum, in different fields, in different levels. We have 1,300 students from India in the country. And I have to mention that the scholarship, the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship, is quite popular in Hungary, in India, of course. 2 times more applicants we have every year. Yeah. And yes, and I would like to invite you to our cultural center. We have a cultural center in Delhi. We have different cultural and sports programs as well. We have also language classes. So let's start to learn Hungarian. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Levente. Now, you mentioned very interestingly all the companies, Sun Pharmaceutical, Apollo Tyres, Motherson. And coincidentally, I have been the one who have helped most of these institutions establish into Europe. So I remember into Hungary in 2007, 2008, Sun Pharma started with its first lab, where they started producing for the European market. Apollo Tyres, they acquired Fredestein. And as a fact that they have a large setup, manufacturing setup. Motherson. So these are the companies I have been involved in last 2 decades, TCS, to take them to Europe. And I'm very happy. I can tell you, while we speak, there are at least 5 companies from India which are looking to acquire companies in Hungary. So in next 3 months, I will let you know their names, because we are under the NDA process where the companies are being acquired in Hungary from 4 to 5 large Indian groups. So a massive translation of business you will see more between India and Hungary as we go along. And clearly you stipulated that there are 200 scholarships, so which makes it very interesting, friends. Dosto, what is very important is, if you have Indian groups working in Hungary, for you to get a job there is far more easier than to go through the Hungarian route. And especially when Mr. Levente mentioned that there are 200 scholarships, so I would absolutely recommend all of you to make a visit to the cultural center in Hungary and try to get more information about this scholarship, because it's very interesting what it can allow you to enter into Hungary through the special educational programs or through the company corporate sponsor programs. And as you just mentioned. So thank you very much for this, sir. Now moving on to your neighbor country, which is Romania. Guys, I must tell you one thing. This panel is amazing, because you are just going across, it's just moving like you're driving the car. And sometimes you're in Netherlands, sometimes you're in Germany, then you get into, Hungary. And then very nicely he was asking, does anybody know about Hungary? Look, we had one famous movie here, Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam. And at the bridge, that's where our famous Bollywood actress Aishwarya Rai and Ajay Devgan. So I think everybody sitting here, certainly knows what Hungary means. And I can tell you, Budapest is one of my top favorite cities of Europe. Don't tell this to my Amsterdam friends. but I'm telling you this secret. Thank you. So coming on to my Romanian friend, Mr. Dr. Vijay Mehta ji. So my question to you, you are Honorary Consul General of Romania. My question to you is how emerging technologies like AI, blockchain and fintech are influencing the trade and investment between EU and India, especially in light of what is happening now with India and Romania in terms of business, because I know there are a lot of large Indian groups into food and agri, into IT sector, into engineering sector, into automobile sector, which are moving into Romania. So if you could just throw some light on what kind of opportunities one. Over to you.
Well, thank you very much. I must thank Amity and my very dear friend, Mr. Prasoon Devan, to have given me this opportunity to meet the future leaders of tomorrow. And before I answer your question, I would like to introduce Romanian markets to this audience through a small story. One manufacturing unit in India who were manufacturing chappals, they sent their two marketing representatives to Kerala, saying that please explore the market and come back and report to us whether we have got any scope to sell our products there. The first guy came back and said that, sir, there is no chance. It's a very, very bad market because nobody wears chappals in Kerala. And the second guy came and said that, sir, it is a fantastic market. Nobody has chappals over there. So this is the difference in the attitude. So that's how, ladies and gentlemen, I would like, before I answer your question, I would like to introduce Romania to you, which is not very well known in India. The reason for that is that whatever they have been manufacturing, they were able to sell within Europe itself. They are a European Union country, and recently, about a couple of months back, they have become a Schengen country. So now the rush is starting, because to start with visa, of course, you all know that Schengen visa is very important visa. And now a number of Indian companies have started looking at Romania. Why? Number one, Romania has the best manpower in computer brain. They are the best computer brains in the whole of Europe. I am sure that most of you might have heard it. They have a beautiful weather. So all pharmaceutical units are going over there. And as Mr. Mr. Vikas said, automobile units are there. Number of Indian manufacturers have already set up base over there. There is a very important area of the film shooting, which you just heard about Hungary. Majority, you'll be surprised to know that majority of the ad films which you see in India are shot in Romania for two reasons. Number one is Romania, in terms of nature, it's as good as any European country or even Switzerland. The second thing is that the cost of shooting in that country is less than half of what you will incur the cost when you shoot them in London or Paris or any of these developed countries. And the last point, which is of main concern to the audience here, is that Romania offers you the best in medical and engineering education. Why Romania was not opening up to the world? Because this particular medical, engineering and other areas, they were being taught in Romanian language and some of the European languages. But now, in the last about 1.5 years, they have started teaching in English. And I know, because being the Consul General of Romania, I see a lot of students from South India, because I look after South India. They are looking for admissions in Romanian university because one very good factor is that they have good colleges and the cost is very low. So again, like it has been mentioned earlier, when you clear from there, then you, of course, you can go all around. It's a European Union country. So besides many other factors which have been talked about here, about the Central European countries, I think Romania is one very definitely good example of everyone looking at this. Most of the Indians who are settled there now or who are going there now are of the labor class. And the professionals have not yet gone. The industry is going in bits and parts. But now is the right opportunity. So I'm sure that many of you would like to explore that. In fact, we are shortly receiving a delegation of the academic world from Romania in India, in New Delhi. And I would request Dr. Singh if we can have some kind of a program at MIT where they can explain to you about the opportunity and maybe look at a collaboration I will try with MIT.
Absolutely. We will be delighted to welcome them.
Thank you. Now coming to the question that how are the emerging technologies like AI, blockchain and fintech influencing trade and investment between the EU and India? Well, I can tell you by an example that when I was in college and I passed out, then at that time, computer was something which was just coming up. And I remember when we installed the first computer in my office, we had to separately take out one 8 feet by 10 feet room to put that huge computer and put a separate air conditioning for that computer. And we have to really look around for someone who could run it. And today you have it just in your telephone or your laptop or whatnot. I think in terms of technology, we have another opportunity. In terms of artificial intelligence, in terms of fintech, in terms of blockchain, or whatever you may talk. If you remember what Mr. Modi, our Prime Minister, spoke recently at the AI Summit in Paris, he highlighted the fact that India is looking at it very seriously. In fact, whether you are going to work in India or you are going to work in EU or you are going to work in something between EU and India, it is time that you really learn AI and all these technologies very well. Because someone who doesn't know them, I am sorry to say, but he will not be able to compete at all. And Europe, as you know, that is waiting because of the recent war between Ukraine and Russia in the last, going on in their third year. A lot of Europe is looking for professionals at a lower cost because they need them. And India, I think, stands first in the queue because of the huge young manpower which we have and the one manpower who is very talented. So I think it is high time. MIT, I congratulate MIT that they have taken steps to educate students here in almost all the European languages, and they have got 17 universities. There could be no place better than MIT for all of you to make up your career in European Union. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you, Dr. Mehta. Thank you. So again, friends, as Dr. Mehta clearly stipulated, Romania has opened up for the world. Romania has opened up for India. And I think with people like Dr. Mehta, who's acting as a bridge to, to bring the opportunities on both sides together, let us use that, calibrate upon it, and leverage it for our own good. So thank you, Dr. Mehta, for very detailed insights, I must say, on putting Romanian opportunities. Now, coming back to, again, I would go back to the same context of Germany, where I have Mr. Hauke Brauer, another panelist, to ask the similar question. Mr. Hauke Brauer, you are Director in International Services and Welcome Center, Schleswig-Holstein. I would like to ask you, how do you see European Union India trade agreements and policies that can create impact on the career prospects for students that are willing to look at or who are looking right now at, Germany as a market? Because you being into Germany and your experience again with India and navigating this cultural corridor, would welcome your insights. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, dear Professor Gurinder Singh, dear my friends from Egypt there in Delhi. ladies and gentlemen, esteemed panelists and distinguished guests. I'm honored to be here today to discuss the dynamic relationship between the European Union and India, particularly with regards how the trade agreements and policies between these two major global players impact careers, opportunities for students who wish to work in international business and trade. You are the new generation of globally minded professionals, really. And before I delve into the core of my discussion, I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the remarkable efforts of the Amity University Group. I by myself visited you in autumn last year and was pressing in fostering international student exchange, particularly with institutions in Northern Germany. Their dedication to building bridges between cultures and educational systems has provided invaluable opportunities for the students. Shadra, you mentioned it, to gain international exposure and experience, which are really crucial in today's globalized world. Ladies and gentlemen, what do I want to talk about here? I would like to highlight three key aspects. Firstly, EU and India trade agreements have the potential to significantly boost economic growth in both regions. As trade barriers are reduced and market access is improved, business on both sides can expand their operations, leading to increased demands for skilled professionals. For students, this translates into a broader array of job opportunities in sectors such as financial, logistic, marketing, and supply chain management. A lot of speakers before me has mentioned that in details. The growth in bilateral trade can lead the establishment of new companies and the expansion of existing ones. Yeah, we have the best case here with Vision, creating a fertile ground for career development. This is particularly true, especially in Germany, where well-trained specialists are in demand in the high-tech industry. Secondly, these trade agreements often come with provisions that encourage additional and educational and professional exchanges. The EU and above all Germany and India have historic of collaboration in higher education and research, which is likely to be further strengthened by the trade agreement. Students can benefit from exchange programs, internship, and joint research initiatives that enhance their skills and global understanding. Really, this exposure not only makes them more competitive in the job market, but also equips them with the cross-culture competencies needed in international business environments. Extremely important, like Chandra mentioned from Egypt, building that bridges for the culture competitors. In this context, the work of Amity University in facilitating exchanges with Northern Germany is particularly recommendable. By providing students with the opportunity to study and work in different cultural and economic settings, they are helping to cultivate a new generation of globally minded professionals. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, the focus on innovation and technology transfer within EU-India trade policies opens a new avenues for entrepreneurship. Students interested in starting their own ventures can leverage the collaborative environment fostered by these agreements. Access to a larger market combined with support for innovation provides a unique opportunity for young entrepreneurs to launch startups that can operate across borders. This entrepreneurial spirit is crucial for driving economic growth and creating new jobs for both regions. So, in conclusion, the trade agreement and policies between Europe and India hold significant promise for students aiming to build careers in international business or trade. By fostering economic growth, enhancing educational exchanges, and encouraging innovations, these agreements create a robust framework for career development. As students, embracing these opportunities will not only benefit your personal career trajectory, but also contribute to the broader economy and cultural ties between the EU, especially Germany and India. Once again, I commend Amity University for their outstanding work in promoting international exchange and collaboration. Thank you for your attention and look forward for your ongoing discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr. Hawking. very inspiring 3 pointers you mentioned out, and especially with this India EU trade at certain stage happening will be a big booster for the students from here. And also, I think we have Christian Della on the line here. So, Mr. Christian, my question to you would be on the same lines as to how do you see, because I think you did not have a chance to speak yet. So, if you can also shed some light on how you see India-Europe relationship more from, let's say, bringing the business and your culture together. Where do you see the opportunities? If you could just quickly shed some of the insights.
Yes, thank you very much, everyone. I'm really delighted to be here today. And for me, I think a lot of important things have been said, which is important. I think, first of all, it's important to be prepared to learn things from each other. So you can be for sure that when you will come from India to Germany, Northern Germany, or to Europe, you will learn new things. You see this also here in my background. The landscape is different, but I think at the end, what I can also assume, you will say you will not regret it, because at the end you are not learning only when you are working maybe in the university or in a company. You will also learn so much new things when you are in the supermarket with friends or in cultural events, and this brings you more forward. And also when you then go back to India after you have been here maybe some years, you can bring there the knowledge to the other people and to friends. So I think at the end, to go abroad, to work together, helps us also in the way that we understand each other much better. And we are living in a global world. So this is, I think, most important. I can only recommend come to Northern Germany, or also to our friends to Romania, Austria, or Hungary. But at the end, I think it's important that Europe and India is working together, as we are the future. And for us, in Europe, India is really important. And let me say at the end, thank you very much to Dr. Kapschel, who's also here with us, and Shada and Shrida from the EJEP Foundation. And thank you to the university. I also visited the university 10 years ago, but I hope that I also can come back soon. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. Now, friends, moving on to I would say, the most important panelist, Mr. G. Thormodsen, founder and chairman, Simba Renewable Energy, CEO of Caldara Group, Iceland. Sir, my question to you is, with a growing focus on sustainability and ESG, because everybody today in India and Europe is talking about ESG. This is the central stage for any company, and certainly for Europe. Now, my question is, with a growing focus on sustainability and ESG, which is environmental, social, and governance principles, what career and business opportunities you would recommend that exist in the green economy, let's say, for students? What would you say about it?
I want to thank you first for the invitation here. I also want to mention a little bit about the newly signed agreement between EFTA and India, which I think has a huge significance for India and also for EFTA. It gives advantage to the companies in the EFTA countries. It is a free trade agreement, and this means that these companies will have an advantage in these countries. Other countries in Europe or companies in Europe will not sit by and having only companies in EFTA countries. This will put a pressure on European Union, and so the gates will open. There will be a free trade agreement between EU and India. So this will be, I think, a very huge significance and importance Uh, this will increase the presence of Indian companies and vice versa here in India, and will have a huge economic impact. The goal that India will be the number 3 biggest economic power in 2 years, I believe in it. I truly believe in it, and so India and Europe, it's a future. It's connected by languages, especially the northern part of Europe speaks Indo-European language, Indo-Germanic language. So there is ancient ties between the countries. The opportunities are many, and especially the youth in Europe, they are more concerned about sustainability, the climate, than the older generation. So huge opportunity exists there for the younger, the students here. I would say the students here, they need to make an avatar that speaks all European languages to facilitate their entrance into the different countries and study the culture, the preferences, the speciality of each country. Then you will recognize opportunities that exist. I can mention one company here in India that the gentleman came to Iceland, the founder came to Iceland and was eating the Icelandic skyr, which is a yogurt type. And he liked it so much that he put up a factory here in Iceland. Now he is making skyr in a powder form. So that's the first in the world, I think, in powder form that's skyr. So the imagination is endless. The opportunities are endless, and Europe and especially the youth are wanting sustainability, climate, and so the opportunities really exist in that field.
Thank you so much, sir. A big round of applause to our friend. So, friends, we are almost at the end of the session, and I must say this has been a roller coaster ride for myself. I have moderated so many panels comprising of 6 people, 8 people, 10 people. But on this panel, including myself and Dr. Singh, we were 16 people. So a big round of applause for all these panelists for making this session so meaningful, so engaging, and so relevant. I just want to summarize 8, 9 points quickly, bullet points. I would go the conclusive elements of what we learned in this last 1.5, 2 hour session. One thing is learn, and learn. Second is learn from the other side. So learning, there is so much of emphasis on learning. Third one is bridge, be a bridge. Fourth one is collaborate, because to make the partnerships fruitful and fructifying, collaboration is the key. Massive opportunities because of the demographic situation in Europe. We have to seize this opportunity. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity for a country like India, friends. So this is the time for us to come together and work with Europe to make it to the next level. New markets coming up absolutely in a stunning manner is Romania, Hungary, Bulgaria, Austria, Iceland. So these are the markets to focus. Obviously, the Germany, the Netherlands, the France, they have been there for donkey years, but then there are these new starts, I would call them. Let's focus on them. Let's capitalize upon the opportunities that these countries present. New sectors, we heard about AI, medical institutions, fintech. I mean, all this area, I mean, we heard where companies like Infosys is setting up a 1,200 people campus in Bulgaria or Romania. Those are the future countries, friends. And certainly learning from the culture, the gaps the languages, and what Amity is doing a phenomenal job of giving you a session on different languages. And I must say, there will be a time when Amity University will be the principal university in the world, where the country university will be the umbrella, under the umbrella universities of Amity, and that's where my best wishes and our inspiration we draw from Amity University, and we all aspire and collaborate, for the betterment of this India-Europe corridor. So friends, thank you very much for joining us. All my friends who are joining from Greece, Germany, from online, thank you so much, sir, for being and patiently listening us. And thank you, my eminent panelists, for making this panel so wonderful and so amazing. And thank you, Dr. Singh, for giving me this incredible opportunity once again to lead this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you to the moderator for this session, for bringing such luminaries come to such an outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, now the time has come to invite all the dignitaries to kindly step forward for the award ceremony. So kindly join us. This cheers is for the wonderful students here who made this grand success come true. You have been such an august gathering, so big round to you too. Ladies and gentlemen, now the time has come for conferring the mementos to the distinguished speakers and guests. Amity is proud to confer Amity Leadership Excellence Award to Dr. Vijay Mehta, Honorary Counsel General of Romania. Thank you to all the activities for physically and virtually connecting us. Amity is proud to confer Amity Leadership Excellence Award to Mr. Rizman, COO, Sunsource Energy. Amity Excellence Award to Mr. Rizman, COO, Sunsource Energy. We are immensely proud by your presence and your knowledge sharing has been a great learning outcome for today. We are indeed lifted by the presence of Mr. Christian Decker, Head of Foreign Trade, WTSX, who has joined us virtually. Thank you so much for joining us. Amity is also proud for conferring Amity Leadership Excellence Award to Dr. David Capture, Chairman, ITT, Germany. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Our next category is Amity Global Excellence Award, and goes to Mr. Michael Paul, Director, Australian Cultural Forum, Australian Embassy. Australian Cultural Forum, Australian Embassy. Mr. Michael Paul, Director, Australian Cultural Forum, Australian Embassy. Amity Global Excellence Award. In the next category, Amity Global Excellence Award to Mr. Levin T. Cardos, Economic and Commercial Counselor, Embassy of Hungary. Remember the great moment. Our next category is Amity Corporate Leadership Excellence Award. And I would like to invite Mr. Deep Hort from Sudan, founder and chairman, Simba Renewable Energy, CEO, Kaldara Group, Iceland. Amity Corporate Excellence Award. Keep applauding their students. Amity is proud to confer Amity Corporate Leadership Award to Dr. Hendrik Heber, Managing Director, WCSH, Germany. Amity Corporate Excellence Award to Dr. Derek Endel, Managing Director, ITM Investment Trade Marketing, Germany. Amity is proud to confer Amity Corporate Leadership Excellence Award to Mr. Hazo Sulenberg, founder, Visit Consultant, X-Ray Systems and Solutions. Our next category is Amity Excellence Award for Global Relations to Dr. C. Vikas S. Chaturvedi, CEO, Value Strength Group, founder, chairman, ICAI Netherlands, TI investor, and he was also the moderator for today's panel discussion. Thank you so much, sir. Amity Excellence Award for Global Relations to Mr. Prasoon Diwan, Chairman, Indo-Ireland Business Association, founder and CEO, Vivish. Mr. Prasoon Diwan, Chairman, Indo-Ireland Business Association, founder and CEO, Vivish. Amity is proud to confer Amity Excellence Award for Global Relations to Mr. Sridhar Subramanian, Director, IGEP Consult Private Limited, Director, Indo-Asia Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce. Amity Excellence Award for Global Relations to Ms. Shraddha Subramaniam, Director, IGEP. Thank you so much, ma'am, for always being kind to Amity. Next category is Amity Academic Excellence Award to Dr. Konstantinov Diamond Shatter, Vice Rector, International Hellenic University, Greece. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today online. Amity Excellence Award to Mr. Hawks Brewer, Director, International Services and Welcome Center. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and gracing us this evening on the second day of INBUSH Era World Summit 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the end of the second day, third session. The prime theme was European Union and India, challenges and opportunities. This was the biggest legendary intellectual treat here, and such a plethora of intellectual minds. Let us capture the glimpse. I thank all the students. You must have taken great insights from the session. So I would request all the august audience to kindly stand up and give a big thunder round to all the dignitaries online and offline who have joined us in this evening today. I would also acknowledge thanks to Dr. Prateek, Ms. Himani, Ms. Preeti, Mr. Marut, IT support, the citation team, back-end support, the front-end support, and everybody for making this second day of third session so outcome-oriented. Thank you, everyone. Kindly be seated. All the students, be seated for a while. Let the guests proceed.
Can I request students to please sit it? All students, please sit down. Close the session. Close the session. Online. Yes.